Namo Doi Savayandam, Namo Doi Savadam, Namo Doi Savayiriyam, Namo Doi Savajayam, Namo Doi Savadivavati Savanam, Omkaramindu Sanyuktam Jayanti Yogina, Kamadam Mokshadam Chayumkarai Namo, Manganam Bhagavanayo, Manganam Uttamuni, Manganam Kunkundari, Ujendra Mosu, Manganam Namasamaristara. Svanubhutya Katha Sthiti Svahai Bhavaya Vibhava Nirusanidata.
Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Aryantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Aryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Vajjanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Savanam. Om Karam Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dhayanti Yoginam Kamadam Mokshadam Chaiva Om Karaya Namo Namah. Namasamay Saraya Swano Bhutya Chakasate Chitsabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimirandhanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Bharto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Bharto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavanta Bharto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Bharto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangarotene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarno Kundano Dvani Divyano Jina Kunda Dvani Yapya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Te Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupamagati Pamela Sarve Sidane Vandi Kaho Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhrata Are Om Eka Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darshanamaya Khare Kayanyate Marujari Paramanu Matra Nathiyare Jamanetrate Majgnananathikarakanathi Vedak Are Jane Jakaramodaya Nirjara Bandate Majamokshane Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Sri Suddhatmane Namaha. Jai Jinendra. So here today is Chaitra Sutteras. This is the Mahavir Janma Kalyanak Day. The Mahavir Swami had birth occurred on this day, and so that's a very auspicious event for all of us. So happy Mahavir Janma Kalyanak Day to everybody. Having said that, this is April 19, 2016, and we are continuing our discussion on matter substance. We already talked about substance at large. Then we talked about soul. Now we are talking matter, and we are going in somewhat detail about matter because these are the words that will be hitting time to time into the scripture. These are the words that we should get familiarized with that, and once we understand those words, then it makes lots of meaning to us because it tells us what Acharya Bhagwan wants to tell us. What does Gurudev want to talk to us? What does he imparts? What kind of knowledge he wants to impart to us? Remember one thing. Gurudev, Acharya Bhagwan, and all those entities are there as our Guru. They tell us. But to accept it and to understand it correctly, it's our duty. He will presume that you are aware of all the matter, substance, and everything. So he will just say skand and he will start walking. He'll go to the next topic. What is skand? What is aggregate of molecule? If I don't understand, then I get kind of confused about, and that's the main reason people get kind of taken away from the spirituality because this is too difficult. I don't understand that part. I don't understand Who understood that I don't understand? Me. So I have capacity to know that I don't understand. So at the same time, I have capacity to know what is available. So having said that, we'll go to the slides and see where we are. I'm here to share the screen, and we are on the slide here, okay? Slideshow. Last week we talked about matter having two forms. Single atom, which is the smallest possible part of a matter substance, which cannot be divided further into two. The last digit, last part. And once those atom comes together, then they make the aggregate of molecules. We call the word atom because lack of better words in the English, because chemistry says atom is the last part of a substance. But that atom and the Jainism atom are far, 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 far different. Because the science atom, chemistry atom, physics atom is also made up of electron and proton and neutron and all kind of things are present there. Single atom is nothing but one single atom, period. That's it. There is nothing, no more. So that single atom and then the aggregate molecule. Now we'll just say what is single atom and what is aggregate molecule. That is our discussion point today. What is known as atom, Parmanu, from Jain perspective? Well, last indivisible part of the matter is known as atom. Last individual part of the matter, I take this pencil with me. I cut into two and further into two and further into two and come to a point in which I'm unable to make extra two pieces there. And that will be called atom. Of course, as a human being, I don't have capacity to witness that atom. Because it is extremely minuscule, extremely microscopic, extremely small. These atoms, when they get aggregated together, an infinite of these atoms, they come together and they make one thing, and that is called one karma particle. If I just said I have a knowledge obscuring karma, I have a perception obscuring karma, I have a deluding karma, I have obstructing karma, all those karma, each karma unit is made up of infinite of these atoms. And even that karma unit, I'm not able to see. I means any living being who is transmigratory soul is unable to perceive that even the karma particle, which includes infinite atomic particles. Then who knows all these things? Omniscient Lord and Siddha Bhagavan, the liberated soul, they can see in their knowledge about the nature of this atom and aggregate of molecules. And that's where we know it. So last individual part of the matter is atom. Then what is aggregate molecule? As we already talked about it, two or more atoms association known as aggregate molecule, or it's called skandha. The Jainism perspective word is called skandha. For atom, we call it Parmanu, and aggregate of molecule is called skandha. So we have two things, Parmanu and skandha, atom and aggregate of molecules. Two things are there, okay? And they constitute complete matter particles. So now let's go and see the characteristics of this atom. We'll see the characteristics of atom, and then we'll go to the aggregate of molecules. As we say, smallest part of the matter with one space unit, this atom has characteristics that it will occupy one space point of this universe. One space point means atom. This is a space point, and this is the atom. So atom occupies one space point. Now, this question that I'm going to throw at you. This pencil has an infinite matter particles. This one, this pencil alone. Then my body has infinite matter particle. My shirt has infinite matter particle. Whole universe has infinite types of matter particles present. How many space points are there in the universe? There are innumerable space points only. Sankhyaat, Asankhyaat, and Anant. Countable numbers, uncountable numbers, and infinite numbers. So the space point of the universe are called uncountable space point. So you have the uncountable space point and you have the infinite matter particles. How are they getting occupied in this universe? That's a question coming in the mind. Logical question. For example, I have a space for 3 bedroom only, and I have 50 people coming. How can I accommodate them? 100 people coming. How can I accommodate them? Well, the space point can accommodate any number of atomic particles. But one atomic particle will occupy one space point. One atomic particle occupies one space point, but this space point also has a capacity to give housing to infinite atomic particles. So all those infinite atomic particles can also reside in a one space point. It becomes confusing, right? Let's take the example of this light again, as we talked before. If in one room I put a one bulb and the light of the bulb occupies the whole room. If I put million bulbs in this room, million bulbs light also will get accommodation in the narrow room that I have it. One bulb occupies whole room, 2 bulbs occupies whole room, 10 bulbs same way, million bulbs same way. So the space point has an accommodative capacity. So it can accommodate any number of souls and any number of matter particles and everything it can do. But one atomic particle will occupy one space point. Second atomic particle can occupy the same space point. So is a third one, so is a fourth one, so is a millionth one, so is a billionth one. So this space point said, I have capacity, you bring everybody, I'm ready, I can accommodate everybody. So space point can accommodate any number of units of matter particle, but one atomic particle will need minimum one space point. Does this make clear? I'm trying to make it clear. I'm trying to say that this guy with the space point has an absolute capacity to accommodate any number of particles coming in. But one particle says, one atomic particle says, I need one space point. So he's here on top of it. Second, third, fourth, fifth, million.
So, Kirit, uncle.
Yeah.
So can I ask you the obvious question? So if you have multiple atomic particles in one space point, then that means, say, for example, a pen and, I don't know, a plate can be in the same space point.
Yeah.
Is that what you're suggesting?
No, wait, remember. This pen and this mouse, they are not in the same space point.
But what you're saying is it could be.
No. This pen is having an infinite atomic particles came together, made a unit of pen. Infinite atomic particles came and made this. My mouse going crazy right now. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So the mouse has so is this writing pad has an infinite particles creating this writing pad. So is this piece of paper has an infinite infinite atomic particle created this paper over here. So when,
But so my question is, just use the writing pad and the pen.
Yeah.
We could maybe say that the atomic particle from the pen and atomic particle from the writing pad could be in the same space point. Is that what you're saying?
No. These two are obviously two different space points right now.
Right. So then what are you saying about the...
But the atomic particles which made this pen right now, infinite atomic particles made this pen right now.
Yeah.
They are occupying, see what it is. The pen is occupying so much space point right now. But
right.
presume that this pen is occupying only one space point. Then
okay.
all these atomic particles, just like the light of those light bulbs, get accommodated in the room. One unit, one bulb, whole room, 10 bulbs, whole room, million bulbs, whole room. Room has a capacity to accommodate as many light units as possible. Same way, the space point here, one last space point, means the smallest space point, has a huge capacity to accept any number of atomic particles. But one atomic particle says, you know what, I will need minimum one space point to exist. So this guy needs one, so next guy needs one, the third guy needs one, fourth guy needs one. This guy says, I will accommodate any number of people you bring it in, I'll take care of it. So space point, one unit, they have infinite capacity. Atomic particle, they need minimum one space point to exist. So one on top of other to top of third, just like those light bulbs. Let's say if you have million color light bulbs in this room right now, and you take one bulb out, so that light from that room goes away. You take the red color out, red color goes away. Yellow out, yellow goes away. But yellow, red, blue, green, all those million light bulbs, they are occupying, not leaving their individuality. In this space point, infinite particles, they remain in one space point.
But so can I rephrase that?
Yeah.
So in one space point, I'm going to use the example of light, and I'll call it a frequency. So each color frequency that you have, red, blue, green, whichever frequency you have, one light particle from each type of light bulb can go into the same space point, is what you're saying.
What it is, yeah. So million light bulbs frequency will remain in the same room. Consider this room as a one space point, and all these light bulbs light is, consider them as a matter particle. So let's presume that this room is considered as a one space point. So red light says, I need to occupy the whole room, okay? Yellow says, I want to occupy the whole room. Green says, I would like to occupy a whole room. Blue says, so all those things says, yeah, we can remain together and we still maintain our individuality. Red will not merge with the yellow or green or blue or everything. They just say we'll make our individuality as well as we can accommodate in the same space point. There is no overcrowding.
So then the idea of the pad and the pen is not appropriate because it is within its own
these
space.
Are the separate, these are separate space point here. Let's put it this way. There are two space points we are taking. One space point, for example, is this pen, Assuming another space point is this pad. So they both have capacity. This pad has a capacity to give the shelter of all the infinite atomic particle in this area. This pad has a capacity to give shelter to all the infinite particles present in this pad. So there are two different space pointed over here because there are two substances that we are talking. But when we are coming to the atomic level, the last particle level, each one occupies one space point, but space point can occupy infinite amount of those particles.
Okay.
This guy need only one space point to survive. But this guy says, I will give you shelter to infinite of these guys to stay in the same area.
Okay. I got it. Thank you.
Okay, sure?
I think so.
No, don't say think so. If there's a question, still raise the question because it's important to understand that part. Because remember, think about universe. I'm talking uncountable space point in the universe, and I have an infinite soul, infinite times infinite matter particles, and all those things, all those infinite things can remain occupied in the narrow area of the innumerable space point of the cosmic space.
Well, what I don't understand is how these multiple matter particles with infinite particles can be in
a one space point.
No, the light example I understand.
So
but other than the light example, I don't know how else you could do it other than with light.
You know, I think this is the closest we can come is a light example because the rest of the things are going to be confusing. For example, if I say that you have the house that you are only 4 people are living and now there is a function and there are about 100 people come. If you accommodate 100 people, there's going to be so much of the rush and everything. It's not possible. So if we consider that way, it's not possible. Only through the example of light, we can understand that one unit can occupy many particles.
All right. Well, I understand the light example. It's just that trying to apply it to anything else.
So put that light in terms of light, in spite of light, I mean, instead of light, you put the matter, atomic particle. That's it.
Okay.
Look, okay. I'll give you another example. Quick example. My body, right?
Mm-hmm.
My body is so much space point it occupies.
Right.
Now, does it occupy my whole soul in this body?
Yeah. Yes.
Does it occupy? Does it also give shelter to all the infinite particles made that created my body, that matter? That my body also remains in the same space point as a soul?
Yes.
How come they both are living same space point?
Plus your karma particles are there too.
Karma
right?
particles are there, then electrical particles are there, lots of particles are. How come they are? Plus, I have the bacteria in my teeth, in my gut, in my intestine. All those bacteria also get shelter. How come one space point one space point shelters so many particles, living and non-living?
Okay. That I understand. Now I got it.
Okay, good. I mean, you know, we don't want to rush through it because these are the basic building block for us. And it needs to be understood properly. Because otherwise you'll just say, if you say limited cosmic space and you have unlimited amount of matter particles and soul and everything, how can they reside together without hitting each other, without having without creating problem to each other? Plus one more thing to understand. This karma particle and soul in the body, for example, when we just saw karma particle and soul, in spite of they occupying same space point, soul remains as soul, karma particle remains as karma particle, and body particle remains as body particle. They don't lose their identity.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it like saying that maybe in a space point in the universe, there might be one atom of hydrogen, there might be one atom of helium, all in the same space point, an atom of oxygen? Is that what it's saying?
Yeah, basically, see, look at H2O molecule, right? If we dissect H2O, this is one droplet, we have it in front of us. Or we put in a microscope, it's not called even droplet, it's just one molecule. That one molecule has H, two hydrogen, and one oxygen atom occupying same space point. And if we take sugar, C6H22O11, how many units are there? They occupy one space, one unit only. One sugar cube has all those C6H22O11 particles in one cube. How can they remain? Because the space point has an innumerable, infinite capacity to accommodate as many particles as possible.
So can I go back to, so what I think is one space point cannot just take any old matter particles. It can only take certain combinations of matter particles.
No, it can take any number of particles. Space point has a...
So then go back to the example, the pen and the pad. They are not going to be, you cannot make them be in the same space point.
No. But remember, there are innumerable, at least there are, let's consider this one as one space point, this one another space point. So there are two space point. In one space point, infinite particles are accommodated. In the another space point, infinite particles are accommodated, and that's it. Now, when this pen gets disintegrated, then the last atomic particle gets separated from this one. It will merge into the atmosphere and it will merge with the other atomic particle, and maybe it will make the pad out of it. So they can get the atomic particles combined. Those atomic particles get separated, make my body out of it. They make electric body out of it. They can make form body out of it. They can make the heavenly angels and hellish souls. So those particles are free to roam into the universe, but they also have capacity to combine together. And one atomic particle needs minimum one space point, but space point can accommodate infinite amount of particles and souls and everything.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the things that we have to think about it. This guy needs one space point, but this guy says not only you only, but I can take as many people as possible within me. Is it clear?
Yes, it's a lot better. Thank you.
Okay. Shall we move further? Okay. So smallest part of the matter with one space point has a capacity to be in molecular aggregate form. This small atomic particle that we are talking here has a characteristic of touch, taste, color, etc. Infinite characteristics are there, infinite attributes are there in this one atomic particle, out of which there is one attribute called touch attribute. Touch attribute has several modifications. There's stickiness modification and there's dryness modification. So if the stickiness modification of this atomic particle is there, then the another atomic particle, they both will get together. And so they'll occupy again one space point only. Then there's a third one, fourth one. So these atomic particles have a capacity to get into, to stick to each other, and it can become molecular aggregate form. Two or more atomic particles, two or more means infinite. Two plus any number of atomic particles, they can combine and then they can form a blob of matter that is called molecular aggregate form. So that's why this pen is called molecular aggregate form, having infinite atomic particles residing in that area. Okay, next one. Now, this atomic particle cannot be divided into two. It's a last part. Aggregate form, yes, you can divide and redivide and till you come to the atomic particle point. Thereafter, you can't divide them. So, atomic parmanu or atomic particle cannot be divided into two. Remember, it's not perishable. Today, after so many years, when at least the time-wise, if we can say, Mahavir said this one. Last Tirthankar, 2600 years back, he said this one. What a great way to remember him on this auspicious birth event celebration that we have today. That he said that atomic particles are not perishable. Remember, if I have a mercury in a bowl, the slanted bowl is there and mercury is inside, and so mercury is as a one unit there. When I put that mercury on the table, it divides into several balls. And when I bring them together, it can become one ball. But when it became one ball, when mercury became one ball, each and every atomic particle continues their own separate existence in that mercury ball. I am the one who is born with 6 pounds of weight. When my soul leaves the body and cremation is done, only 6 pounds of ashes will be there. So what it means? The particles have never been perishable. It just keeps on changing form. That's it. If the particles get separated from this pen, maybe they will get together and will become in the pad form or in the form of mouse in the future or whatever. But atomic particles are not perishable. That's what Mahavir told 25 to 2600 years back. And only in this last century, science said that matter cannot be created, cannot be destroyed. It changes the form. Water from the ocean becomes vapor, becomes cloud, becomes snow, goes into the mountain, it melts, it becomes water, it goes to ocean, it becomes vapor. All those changes are occurring, but H2O molecule remain the same. That means all the matter particles remain the same. They keep on changing the form. So those are the things that we have to know about the characteristics of atomic particle. It's eternal in nature. Well, it's not perishable means it's eternal, right? It's another way of saying that non-perishable or eternal in nature. Now, this atomic particle, remember this atomic particle, which is only been perceived by omniscient Lord. He said that why this atomic particle is a touch, taste, smell, and color, etc. Infinite attributes present within. Now, this is we are talking about atomic particle. Now, when we have aggregate of this atomic particle and it becomes a molecular form and it becomes. Remember, don't get confused with this science molecular form. Lack of better word, we just said aggregate of atomic particle is called molecular aggregation. And that means it's called skand. And in that infinite atomic particles present making skand, molecular aggregation, that's called karma particle. That also I as a transmigrated soul is unable to see that thing, perceive those things in the karma particle. Only omniscient Lord can perceive that. What I'm seeing, this is a gold color, this is white color, but these are the white color of the infinite aggregate of the atomic particle creating that white color. Every unit present in that one has its own attribute of color, and this color has its own modification. It could be red, yellow, green, blue, whatever color you want to think about it, but they are the modifications. The color attribute is there, smell attribute is there, taste attribute, touch attribute, they are present in the substance, in the matter. Now, atomic particle does not have sound attribute. That's a very, very important thing that we are presenting right now. What does it say? Atomic particle is a touch, taste, smell, color, etc. infinite attribute, but atomic particle per se does not have sound attribute. And we'll come back to that. I think this is sound is diluting form of atom. Now, we'll come back to this last, these two bullets. Sound does not have sound attribute. Sound is diluting form of atom. And sound, soul is a knower, but cannot be the doer of atom or matter. This is the most important thing, take home message on this slide, on that soul, me as a soul, I'm the knower. I'm not the doer. I cannot write with this pen. I cannot read what is written on this pad. No, I'm the knower. I'm not the doer. Doer and knower are two different animals that we should understand, and that will be the real crux into the basis of Samaysar. I'm not the doer, I'm the knower. When I do the meditation, what am I doing? I'm the knower. I see that the body is breathing. I see that the leg is getting numb. I see that the back is getting pain. All those things, I'm the knower. I'm not the doer of it. Though the doer thing actually happens, the atomic particle and molecular aggregate, they do their own function, and I'm just the knower. As a soul, I'm the knower. I'm not the doer. So coming back to the sound thing, what is that sound thing? For that thing, I may have to go to one site. Let's see. Hopefully, I have it still here. Okay. Now, this is a short video. We are going to see how sound is produced. We all know it, but
sound is vibrations. Whether it's our vocal cords or the skin of a drop, when an object vibrates, it makes the molecules of air around it vibrate. The vibration is.
See what happened here. Vibration means the one particle hit the other particle and the sound is produced. One particle alone does not produce sound. Again, let's see this part. This slide. Yes, here.
Vibrate. The vibration is transmitted from molecule to molecule. When it reaches your ear, the vibration.
So that's what the sound is produced. One atomic particle hitting other atomic particle, that's why the sound is created. One atomic particle itself does not have capacity to produce sound. Sound is produced by hitting of the two particles, again as it is shown over here, very nicely shown, this part, yeah.
The air around it vibrates. The vibration is transmitted from molecule to.
So that's the way this sound is produced. So now, atom has its own characteristics. Other atom has its own characteristics. That is called that innate form. This atom is in innate form. This atom is innate form. But when they interact with each other, that is called diluted form. It's called diluted form. And That's where the sound is produced. So coming back to our slide here, so it does not have sound attribute per se in this atomic particle. This atomic particle does not have sound attribute, but sound is a diluting form of mode of the atom. This atom hitting another atom, sound is produced here. If I'm moving this atom alone, nothing happens. Moving alone, nothing happens. When they collide each other, sound is produced. So that's a diluted form of a atom which is making sound. So this is the thing that we have to understand distinction, you know. So having said that, we'll go to the next slide. Now we are talking about remember, when we said here, this is diluted form of an atom. What does the diluted form means? That's what I think it's trying to explain to over here. Matter substance, innate form of modification called Swabhav Paryay means pure atom existing in by itself. But when it's in the aggregate form, let me hide this one. Sorry. When it's in an aggregate form, that is called diluted form of modification. In a simple atom existing by itself is a pure form, the innate form, and two or more particles coming together, that is called diluted form. That's called aggregate of molecule is diluted form. So if I say there are infinite particles present in this pan, means it's a diluted form of a matter substance. If I say I have a simple atom here, then it's an innate form of a matter substance. Now, I don't think I have that slide, but we already know that part. Matter substance has a innate form, which is an atom. Matter substance is diluted form, which is called aggregate molecule. Remember, karma particle has how many molecules? It's an aggregate of infinite atomic particles are present. So, infinite atomic particles are present, making karma particle means it's a diluted form of a matter substance. Now, me as a soul, what is my innate form? To stay within my true nature. What's my diluted form? Anger, deceit, ego, greed, inclination of attachment, inclination of aversion, and wrong belief and wrong knowledge. All those modifications are called diluted form. So my diluted form of the soul and matter's diluted form, they can react to each other. This matter's diluted form means aggregate molecule, means karma particle. So karma particle and my anger, deceit, ego, greed, they can react with each other. Does it make sense? Because that's a very, you know, I had to fish out those slides. They are there somewhere in my computer. I may share that one probably next week, and we'll just go through detail of that one also. So basically, matter substance, innate form is an atomic particle. Aggregate forms is a diluted form. That's all we have to remember right now. So those are the things for the matter substance. What is the innate and what's a diluted form? And we already saw this video, so we don't have to go there now. Sound production. Now, skandh means aggregate molecule. Aggregate molecules are three types they are described. It's called skandha. It's called skandha desh. It's called skandha pradesh. Aggregate of molecule. Half of the aggregate molecule. Further half of the aggregate molecule. So if this one we consider one unit, this is half, and this Skandha Pradesh is 1/4. Hang on to that. We'll be coming to that in detail again. So let's see. It's going to take a time for the next slide to go to. I'm going to stop here right now because today is Mahavir Janma Kalyanak Day, and we have a celebration occurring in the temple. So I have to go there. So I have to take the leave from you people 15 minutes early. I'm sorry for that. But this will take a little bit more time to go through it. And also on the last slide, what I talk about, I'm going to share that slide with you. So you go through it, and next week when we meet, we'll be talking a lot more about it. Any questions so far? We covered quite a few things, and I think, it's good to have discussion, to have questions and everything, because that's only the way we are going to clear our bases. Any questions? I put everybody to sleep, I guess.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. So we'll be doing closing, okay? जावानी के ज्ञान से सूझे लोकालोक, सोवाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देत हूँ डाक. 9 times नमो का मंत्र. नमो ओरियंतान, नमो सिद्धान, नमो आर्यन, नमो जम, नमो लोय सौषाणम. नमो ओरियंतान, नमो सिद्धान, नमो आर्यन, नमो जम, नमो लोय सौषाणम. नमो ओरियंतान, नमो सिद्धान, नमो आर्यन, नमो जम, नमो लोय सौषाणम. नमो ओरियंतान, नमो सिद्धान, नमो आर्यन, नमो जम, नमो लोय सौषाणम. Namo Orientanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Aryan, Namo Jam, Namo Loe Sosanam. Namo Orientanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Aryan, Namo Jam, Namo Loe Sosanam. Namo Orientanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Aryan, Namo Jam, Namo Loe Sosanam. Namo Orientanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Aryan, Namo Jam, Namo Loe Sosanam. Namo Orientanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Aryan, Namo Jam, Namo Loe Sosanam. Jai Jinendra, Mitchai Dukram.